Have you ever thought about what really goes down when you take a step back and your presence fades from her life? It's a journey that doesn't get much talk, but a lot of people go through it silently. It's a realization process where every moment without you makes her see what she used to take for granted. Today, we're breaking down the stages of this journey, one step at a time, showing how her understanding changes and grows. But it's not just about her. It's also about the growth and strength you discover in yourself during this time. Every pause, every bit of space you create, just makes you stronger. Your foundation is grounding you in the basics of Stoicism, staying calm when things get tough, bouncing back when you're on your own, and having a quiet wisdom that turns absence into strength. If you're interested in how stepping back affects both you and her, this video is for you. Join us as we dive into this journey from both perspectives and show how your absence can say more than words ever could. And before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon. You're first in line for fresh insights and strategies, so let's get started. First up, the shock of silence. Imagine this. She probably thought you'd reach out, make things right, or at least try to keep the connection going. Instead, all she gets is radio silence. That silence says a lot. At first, it's confusing and even a bit unsettling. She might find herself checking her phone, scrolling through old messages, or wondering if you're just playing hard to get. But as the silence drags on, it becomes obvious this isn't a game. In this moment, she starts to see just how much is lacking. Where she expected a reaction from you, there's just a calm silence. This is where Stoicism really shines. The Stoics say that true strength isn't about big reactions, but about staying calm and in control. By keeping quiet, you're showing that strength, a strength she might not have noticed before. This calm response reflects a level of self-respect and emotional stability that only comes when someone is genuinely at peace with themselves. You know your worth, and you're not swayed by her actions or pressured by what she wants from you. You stay steady, calm, and unbothered. As time goes by, she starts to really feel your absence. The reality of losing you hits her hard, something she never saw coming. Suddenly, all those moments she took for granted and the steady presence she relied on are just gone. Each day, your silence gets louder, making the emptiness even more obvious. She starts to realize that losing you wasn't just a temporary thing. It was a real loss of something important. You were one of a kind, someone who had integrity, self-respect, and self-control, which are rare qualities. So, how do you handle this? Do you reach out to make her feel better? The calm approach is to stay grounded and remember that your actions should come from your own sense of peace, not from how she feels. This doesn't mean you're ignoring her. It's just about maintaining your self-respect and showing her that you won't chase after her approval. You can be open to talking when the time is right. But don't lower your self-worth in the process. Like, if she reaches out, you can reply calmly and acknowledge her message without letting her pressure you emotionally. Something simple like, "Hope you're doing well. I've been focusing on my own growth lately." Says a lot. It shows you've been moving on and that you're strong. It lets her know that while you valued her, you respect yourself enough to stay calm and keep moving forward. Once the silence settles in, she starts to replay her memories like scenes from a movie. Each laugh they shared, every deep conversation, and all those moments of eye contact flood back to her. But now, it feels different. These memories aren't just happy anymore. They carry the heavy burden of loss. She's looking at them with a new perspective, and each memory hits her harder than the one before, now shadowed by a sense of finality she didn't see coming. There's this idea in Stoicism. Memento mori, or remember you will die, is a reminder that everything, including people and experiences, is temporary. The Stoics taught that being aware of this helps us appreciate what we have in the moment instead of taking it for granted. But for her, this reminder has come too late. The laughs you shared, the support you gave, the stability you offered, those moments were so brief, yet she didn't see how valuable they were when she had them. Now, with every memory, she feels the emptiness of what you brought to her life. As she looks back on those moments, she can't help but feel a wave of regret. Why didn't she see the steady support you gave her? Why did she ignore the strength it took for you to stay calm and supportive, even when things got tough? Now, each memory feels like a reminder of missed chances and the qualities she overlooked. She's starting to understand that what she had with you was rare, a mix of patience, understanding, and emotional strength that only comes from someone who genuinely respects themselves. So, what do you do now? She's realizing that Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own growth, actions, and mindset. There's no need to cling to bitterness or resentment. Instead, use this as a moment to reflect. By appreciating the lessons from your past, you can bring them into a future that respects your values. For instance, rather than dwelling on the past or waiting for her to see what she's lost, you could concentrate on nurturing the person you're becoming. It could mean getting into your own projects, hanging out with people who enjoy having you around, or just living in a way that boosts your self-esteem. When you do this, you're not just moving forward, you're recognizing the strength and worth you brought to that relationship. You're proving that you don't need someone else's approval to know your own value. And if she reaches out, keep in mind that while she might be looking back on things with regret, you've already accepted those memories as meaningful. Every moment teaches us something, and every moment lost becomes part of your own story. A story built on growth, resilience, and self-respect. Take a minute to think about this journey of memories and what you've learned. What thoughts pop up when you think about the lessons learned through regret and understanding? Share your thoughts in the comments, or if you want to keep it simple, just say, "I value my journey." Whether you share or just acknowledge it quietly, remember that it matters. Embracing your own growth is a big step forward. Let's keep an eye on number 3. She's realizing what she used to overlook. After the memories fade, what's left is just emptiness, a quiet, unshakable void left by your absence. It's not just an emotional gap, it's a deep lack of support and stability she once leaned on but didn't fully appreciate. Day by day, this emptiness becomes more obvious, reminding her that you weren't just a passing figure in her life. You were her anchor. The strength you gave her was something special. She always thought the connection would be there for good, but then it wasn't. The Stoics talk about sympathia, the idea that real strength and growth come from feeling connected to others. We're all linked somehow, but real relationships, those based on mutual understanding and respect, bring a depth that's hard to find again. Your presence in her life gave her a quiet, steady support that kept her grounded. What she used to see as normal now feels so much more important. And without you, she really gets that. Someone she really connected with could bring that kind of depth as she deals with this emptiness. She's facing the reality of her choices and realizing that the calm strength and stability you gave her is something she can't find with anyone else. There's a reason, Rian, that your presence is so deeply missed. She might have kept busy with other people or distractions, but nothing compares to the steady support you provided. It's becoming clear that she didn't appreciate that before, something way more special and significant than she ever understood. How do you react to her realizing this about you? The Stoics would say to concentrate on your own growth. Sure, connections matter, but they shouldn't keep you from progressing. Her realization and regret might hit deep, but your strength comes from knowing that your worth doesn't hinge on whether she recognizes it or not. You've always understood the importance of real connections, and now you can move on with that knowledge. Keep in mind that you might want to focus on building relationships with people who appreciate the stability and understanding you offer. By embracing the idea of sympathy, you're open to finding connections that really reflect who you are today. Connections rooted in shared values and mutual respect. You don't have to go back to past relationships to find depth and meaning. Instead, you can forge new bonds that respect the strength and integrity that others might have overlooked before. Realizing this might hit home for you too, a reminder of your worth and the importance of being around people who appreciate the quiet strength you bring. The emptiness she feels is something she needs to work through, but for you, it shows the resilience and depth that come from moving forward, rooted in self-respect and understanding. And when freedom feels like a weight, she might have thought that being independent would give her the freedom and happiness she was looking for. A life without expectations, where she could truly be herself. Maybe she saw this as a chance to reinvent who she is, creating a space free from anyone else's ties, including yours. At first, it was exciting, a breath of fresh air, a promising new path. But as days turned into weeks, that lonely journey started to show the quiet pain of feeling empty. What used to feel so empowering about being independent now feels empty, like a huge open field with no one to share it with. Independence, once so valued, now feels a bit hollow. It starts to feel less like freedom and more like being cut off from everyone. The Stoics remind us that while it's important to be resilient and self-sufficient, that's just one part of the picture. They believed that the real joy in life comes from building connections with others, which helps us tackle challenges with a solid foundation. Sure, independence is super important, but even the Stoics knew that the best life is one where we're connected. In the partnership, you were her rock, balancing independence and companionship. It was a relationship where freedom didn't mean being apart, but instead, it gave them room to grow together. This kind of connection gave her a special kind of freedom, not to run away, but to really thrive in a shared life. Now, as she feels the emptiness of that bond, a new vulnerability starts to set in. The solitude she chose carries a heavy weight. It's one thing to walk alone by choice, but it's another to realize that by doing so, she's left so much behind. Someone who really added depth and warmth to her life. Your presence used to fill her world with a coziness she now longs for, making her own choices feel colder and lonelier than she expected. Think about what Stoic philosophy says about true strength. Independence is just one part of being resilient. It's also crucial to realize that we're meant to connect with others. Maybe this time has shown you the importance of self-respect and recognizing your own worth, even if it's tough. Sometimes people only realize how much they miss you when you're not around. Think of it like a tree that's really rooted in the ground. It grows strong and tall, but those roots are what keep it steady through the storms. Without those roots, the tree might be standing there, but it would be wobbly and could be knocked over by the slightest breeze. Relationships are kind of like that. They give us the support we need to really thrive. It's in those connections that we build strength based on respect and common values. Your job isn't just to sit around hoping someone will notice. Nobody else will see your value. It's all about growing within yourself, building your inner strength and standing tall in your worth, whether others recognize it or not. As you think about this journey, I'd love for you to share your story in the comments. Have you felt how connection and community can bring balance to your life? Drop your thoughts below or just say, "I am rooted in my worth." Your experiences matter, and by sharing them, you might inspire or help someone else on their journey. Now let's get into it. Let's discover the next insight together. Number 5. She's finally realizing her own unwavering strength. It's hitting her now, the strength she had all along, which she used to take for granted. She was calm in every interaction, never let her emotions take over. Now she understands that it wasn't just being passive or indifferent, it was real strength. That calmness came from a deeper place, a rare kind of self-control that she's just starting to appreciate. In Stoic philosophy, there's a concept called apatha, refers to a state where you're free from disruptive emotions. It's not about feeling nothing. It's about keeping your emotions in check instead of letting them run the show. You live this principle naturally. While others might have been frustrated or impulsive, you stayed calm and collected. Now, looking back, she realizes how that quiet strength set you apart. You were the anchor, the steady presence that didn't need to be loud to make an impact. That's true strength. It only hit her how clear it all was when you weren't around. She realizes that your calmness wasn't about being aloof. It was about being in control. You weren't indifferent. You just had a grip on yourself, your words, your actions, and your feelings. That calmness is what she misses now. It didn't need anyone to reassure or validate it. It just had this quiet confidence all by itself. In a world that often gets caught up in drama and quick reactions, you had a balance that she feels she can't replace. So, what happens when she finally, if she figures this out about you, you could reach out to try to reconnect or let her know you're still around. But the Stoic approach suggests you should stay strong and true to your values, no matter how she reacts. That doesn't mean you have to cut ties with her or anyone else. It just means your self-worth shouldn't depend on her realizing things. For instance, keep fostering that inner peace in everything you do, whether you're starting new projects or building new relationships. Just going through your day, keep your focus on building that inner strength. The calmness she saw in you wasn't an act, it was real. Now, you get to keep growing that strength, not for her, but for yourself. Over time, that steady calm will become a part of who you are, an anchor that sticks with you, no matter who notices or who comes and goes. As the Stoics say, true freedom comes from knowing you don't need anyone else's validation to feel whole in embracing your strength. The strength of quiet confidence is that calm she can't shake off. But it's the kind of calm that helps her move toward a future grounded in self-respect and resilience. Number 6, a glimpse of her own emptiness. Right now, she's dealing with a harsh truth. A hollowness that wasn't there before, a void she didn't realize existed until you left. In a way, she's staring at her own emptiness, which shines a light on what she used to overlook in you. Now that you're not around, she's starting to feel the burden of everything she took for granted. It's not just about missing someone, it's about missing the real meaning you brought into her life, something that can't be easily filled. The Stoics talked about this idea of building a life that has real worth and value. They taught us that true happiness comes from within, not from what others think of us. Your presence wasn't just a nice distraction. It added a special kind of meaning to her life, something she now sees she wasn't really nurturing before. Inside her, you didn't just kill time. You brought a real connection. You reminded her what it's like to have someone strong by her side. Without that, she's faced with her own emptiness, a result of letting go of something truly precious. This moment makes her realize the difference between just passing time with someone and having a meaningful relationship. She might have thought she could find the same support somewhere else, but nothing fills the void your absence created. It's a painful realization that she let go of something important. It really means something when it comes from a place of true self-worth and inner value, something that can't just be swapped out. So, how do you respond when she brings up this emptiness? The Stoic approach suggests you keep working on your own growth and self-respect. Understand that while her realization might confirm your worth, your strength has never relied on her recognition. Instead, take this moment to remember how important it is to build relationships that genuinely appreciate and respect who you are. You might want to focus your energy on creating a life that's meaningful and true to your values. This could mean strengthening your relationships with people who value you, or trying out new interests that show how you've grown. For instance, you could dive into hobbies that boost your self-esteem, whether it's creative projects, self-improvement, or building strong friendships. Each move you make helps shape the life you want on your own terms. Life is all about finding your own worth and purpose. Eventually, she might see what she lost, but your real power is in moving ahead, feeling good about yourself. The Stoics teach us that true happiness comes from taking care of our inner selves, not depending on others to feel complete. As you keep going on this journey, you're bringing along a depth she missed, and that depth will only grow as you nurture it through relationships and experiences that match your values. Have you? Have you ever been in a situation where someone didn't appreciate you until you were gone? Maybe you've had that eye-opening moment where you see someone finally understanding what they took for granted. We want to hear your story and thoughts. Sharing your experiences can create connections and help others going through something similar. Find support. Drop a comment below and let us know what stood out to you and how you've dealt with these moments. Self-discovery number 7. She starts to envy your peace of mind. As time goes by, she notices something she never expected. Even from afar, it's obvious you've found your balance, a calm that just seems to get stronger every day. This peace you've built during tough times stands out to her now, especially while she's struggling with her own choices. Meanwhile, you keep moving ahead with confidence, feeling grounded and sure of yourself. The tranquility she sees in you makes her uneasy. She gets that it doesn't come easy. It's a calm that's been earned. It shows strength, resilience, and growth. In Stoic philosophy, there's this idea called ataraxia, which is a state of calm that doesn't come from trying to control others or the world around you, but from mastering your own mind. The Stoics think that real peace happens when we align our thoughts, actions, and intentions, focusing only on what we can control. That's what she sees in you now, a rare kind of peace and steady self-assurance. It's all about acceptance. Life's uncertainties can be confusing for her. She feels the contrast between her restless mind and your steady one. It's like two ships at sea. Hers is tossed around, uncertain of where to go, while yours moves smoothly ahead, guided by an inner sense of direction. You're sailing without trying to control the wind or the weather, because you understand that peace isn't about what's happening around you. It's about how you choose to react. In your calmness, she notices something profound. She's never felt the freedom from regret and worry that she still hasn't figured out for herself. So, what can you take from this? First, realize the power of self-mastery. Peace is a gift you give yourself, and it becomes unshakable as you build it from within. Your journey doesn't depend on someone else's understanding of your worth. It grows from your ability to stay grounded. Knowing your value doesn't change, no matter who comes or goes. Imagine someone trying to mess with your calm. In the past, you might have. You've felt the urge to defend yourself or prove your worth, but now you realize that your peace says it all. You've become someone who doesn't need to chase after approval or argue. She sees a calmness in you that can't be disturbed, a peace that stays no matter what others think. Just remember, her envy isn't something to flaunt or seek validation from. It's just a sign of your growth. While she struggles with her decisions, you keep moving forward, confident in your path. True peace isn't about what others think. It's about getting a grip on your own mind. It's a calm strength that speaks volumes even when you don't say a word. Number 8, the awakening to true worth. As the days turn into months, she starts to notice a change. At first, she might have felt the need to rush into something new to fill the emptiness your absence created. But in those quiet moments, she begins to understand something deep, your real value. The patience, wisdom, and integrity you brought into her life are priceless. It's pretty amazing how rare people like you are. She starts to realize that while there are a lot of people out there, very few actually have the character and depth you do. In Stoic philosophy, there's this idea called arete, which means virtue or excellence of character. It's not about just surface-level stuff. It's about the deep values that really define who someone is. Your patience, your quiet wisdom, and your ability to stay calm and grounded whether things are going well or getting tough. Those are the qualities that show someone is truly committed. Living a good life can shape you in ways you might not have noticed back then. Those good qualities were always in you. She might not have fully appreciated them before, but now they feel irreplaceable to her. She sees them as one of a kind, something she won't easily find in anyone else. Picture her meeting new people, maybe even trying to find that same connection you had. But with every new interaction, she can't help but compare. She realizes how patient you were, how well you listened, and how steady you always were. Even in heated moments when others lash out, you always took a moment to think things through. While most people only looked at the surface, you had a knack for digging deeper. Those qualities that used to fade into the background are now what she truly misses, traits she didn't realize were so valuable until they were gone. There's a strong lesson here. Your self-respect and the values you hold are your biggest strengths. When you lead with integrity, patience, and wisdom, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your qualities really shine through. You've built yourself up with a strong inner strength that won't change, no matter who notices or who ignores it. If you meet someone who's interested in you but doesn't respect your values or character, instead of trying to change yourself to win their approval, you now hold your ground. You understand that your worth isn't based on whether someone recognizes it right away. Just like AR says, true virtue doesn't bend or change to fit in. It's okay if others don't always approve of you. You've got this calm wisdom, patience, and integrity that are gifts, not just to everyone around you, but also to yourself. Just know that it might take people a while to realize your worth, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to be in the spotlight to be important. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is just be yourself. The right people will eventually see and appreciate your unique value. So, take a moment to think about all of this and reflect on the qualities you have inside you. Wisdom, patience, and integrity are what really define you. Can you see how these qualities make you stand out in a world that usually goes for quick wins and instant satisfaction? I'd love to know what you think. Have you had a similar experience, or does this hit home for you right now? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to show that you're on this journey of self-discovery, just type, "My virtues are my greatest strength, number 9, longing for lost." When a woman realizes she's really lost you, it hits her harder than just missing the good times or the love you shared. What she starts to crave is the stability you brought into her life, the strength and consistency that gave her peace while dealing with her own struggles. Now, she thinks back to how you used to calm her down when she felt stressed or unsure. It's in those quiet moments of reflection that she truly feels the deep emptiness from losing you. We often take stability for granted when we have it, but when it's gone, we really feel the need for it. In Stoic philosophy, this idea connects to eudaimonia, which is all about chasing a fulfilling and meaningful life. True peace comes from having a deep sense of calm and purpose inside. For Stoics, living well means not just finding stability for ourselves, but also helping those we care about. It's about being a steady support for others while staying grounded ourselves, and for her, you were that support. You brought her that stability. She used to have a kind of stability that made her feel safe, understood, and valued. But now that it's gone, she's on the hunt for that same feeling again. She's starting to see how rare it is and that not everyone can provide that kind of support in someone else's life. As you think about this change, there's an important lesson for you here. The role you played in her life was really significant, but it also highlights how crucial it is to stay grounded in yourself. You brought her a sense of calm and clarity that she didn't appreciate until it was taken away. Philosophy teaches us to be self-sufficient, but while it's great to support others, true fulfillment comes from being whole by ourselves. Now's the time to focus that same stability and grounding inward to find your own peace. Just like you helped her see things clearly, work on your own mental and emotional strength so you can stay steady no matter who comes and goes. Remember a time when she faced a tough situation, maybe a stressful work issue or something personal. She might have come to you when she was stressed or frustrated, and you helped her see things differently, calming her fears. At that moment, she probably relied on you for comfort without realizing it was turning into a quiet dependency. Now, she's missing that steady support and realizing it's not something that can just be swapped out. Real stability starts from within, just like you helped her find balance during tough times. So, focus on building your own inner strength to be ready for whatever comes next. Life has its highs and lows, but finding peace within yourself, no matter what's going on around you, is key. This inner strength not only helps you bounce back, but also makes your future relationships stronger, giving them a sense of balance that others will really value and respect. By living like a true Stoic, you become a solid support for others without losing yourself along the way. You might miss what you've lost, but you gain the wisdom and clarity to see that your stability is what really matters. Who you are isn't just about how others see you or what they need from you. The real gift is realizing that you're not defined by what you do for other people, but by the strength you cultivate inside yourself. As we wrap up this video, let's take a moment to think about the journey we've gone through together. We explored the quiet power of stepping back, the effects of being away, and how taking a break can bring clarity and change, not just for her, but for you too. When you step back, it's a chance to refocus on your own growth. Resilience is a chance to strengthen yourself and boost your self-respect. Remember, it's not just about making someone miss you. It's about finding that inner calm and confidence that comes from knowing who you are, regardless of whether others see it. In the space you create, both you and the other person can realize what's truly important and one of a kind. The Stoic ideas of staying calm, holding back, and mastering yourself help us through tough times. They show us that real strength is often quiet and steady, not about chasing after things. Validation from others is nice, but what really matters is believing in your own worth. You're not just making her feel your absence. You're showing the strength of being grounded and finding power in your solitude. This journey is about rediscovering what you bring to a relationship, taking care of your self-worth, and realizing that your value doesn't change based on whether someone else is around or not. If today's video hit home for you, take a moment to think about which part of this journey resonated with you the most. Discovering your inner strength is like how silence can say so much more than words. It's about nurturing your own peace without letting outside reactions mess with you. Let's keep chatting. I'd really like to hear what you think in the comments. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Thanks a ton for being here and taking the time to focus on your growth. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and turn on notifications so you're the first to catch new content when it comes out. Make sure to check out the recommended videos on the screen to dig deeper into personal growth, stoicism, and the importance of taking a step back. Until next time, keep building that inner strength and living with purpose. See you in the next video.